times have you, or someone you know, tried to start a diet and given up? How often has it fallen through because you struggle to figure out what is tasty and healthy to cook week after week, month after month? Good morning, my name is Adrian Wilk. Before I continue, I want to tell you my story. Back in high school, I was always the slow kid, and I can remember running this 800-meter race, and I collapsed because I was overweight. I was teased for the remainder of my high school years. Now let's fast forward to a couple of years ago, and still nothing had changed. I was a staggering 130 kilos, fat rolls coming out of fat rolls, and zero self-confidence. Now I'd done all the research on weight loss, watched all those documentaries to give me strength, and even followed those ridiculous fads out there that say you look like Arnie in 4 weeks. Yeah, that's right. I fell for them as well. But the problem remained. There was still so much information out there, all telling me different information. Before I knew it, I was overwhelmed and confused, with 10 plus tabs open, all trying to give me the right information. Now eventually I figured it out. It was as simple as sticking to the basics, clean eating and adhering to your macronutrients. And before I lose you, macronutrients are your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates, and they are the key elements in any given food item. Now to achieve this, I sifted through thousands of recipes, compiled a list of tasty and enjoyable meals, and then built a simplistic tool around that told me exactly what I needed to eat and when. Now everybody is incredibly busy, and creating healthy eating habits is painfully time-consuming. Nutrition labels are overloaded with unnecessary junk, countless hours wasted every week scanning the internet, cookbooks and blogs to find that ideal recipe. And don't even get me started on the boring aspect. Do you really want to eat chicken, broccoli and rice for the rest of your life? I, for one, do not. Now, Australia is the third most obese country in the world, with 15 million people of our entire population being classified as overweight and obese. This number is not showing any signs of slowing down, and we need to do something about it. Fast. Now, just imagine if everyone had their own proactive and personal dietitians working side by side with them 24/7. Would you work harder, better, faster, or stronger? I know I would. Everybody, meet Hàli. Hàli starts by asking you some simple questions around your goals, your weight, and activity level, then calculates exactly what your nutrient intake will be. She then compiles a list of thousands of unique meal plans that perfectly fit your diet, food, and taste preferences. And then once you have selected your ideal meal plan, your shopping list and cooking instructions will be available to you on demand. She tells you exactly what to eat, cook, and how to buy it. It doesn't get any simpler than this. Now, Australians currently spend a whopping $8.5 billion a year on the health and fitness industry. This figure is showing no signs of slowing down. And after that, Hàli will be available as a subscription service of $9.90, in which everybody will be able to experience her for 30 days and a free trial. Now, there are very few options in the market that are convenient and personalised, and as of that, there's only one similar competitor known as Eat This Much. Unlike Eat This Much, Hàli delivers a service in first person, just like an actual dietitian would, rather than just educating you about what you can eat. But, however, based on their high reviews, it seems that people are easily impressed with automated meal planners and will continue using them. Our social media channels have blown up with a staggering 565 likes within the first month, and we've begun providing our meal services without the use of a smart application yet. This involves getting our insights into what they actually want to eat, and if they're actually willing to follow our advice. We have my dear friend, my co-founder and our Chief Technology Officer, Cameron Peacock, with his extensive knowledge in software development and software systems. We wouldn't be anywhere with the advice and mentorship from Jeff Smith, who's now the Global Vice President of Amazon Web Services. Our information would be worth nothing unless it came from a credible source. I give you Ali Smith, our in-house dietitian. Now, retaining our users is going to be the #1 problem with us. And I love games, and to keep it interesting, gamification will be introduced into this dietitian program just to keep people engaged a little bit more. And accountability is the #1 reason why people's diets actually fail. She'll do regular checkups on you. She'll know exactly when you're going to weigh yourself in. It's all done with GPS locations. We are seeking $150,000 for 10%, and it gives me great pleasure to announce we've raised $140,000 to date, and are requiring $10,000 more to continue production. Look, health is hard. It doesn't have to be hard anymore. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Adrian Wilk, and it was an honor to present to you. Thank you.
Okay. Is this on? Okay, great. I'll start. That's okay. All right. So, first of all, Adrian, I want to say it was a pretty good pitch. Nice job there. You gave the problem. 62% of Australia is overweight or obese. You have a solution, and your own personal history. You are a magical transformation yourself, correct?
Yes.
Right? So maybe I would have used some more visuals like that, because you did show you before, and we could see you after. But I think, the power of magical transformations with not only yourself is important, but also maybe some of the customers. You now have, 562 people that have liked you on Facebook?
Yeah.
So how many customers do you have currently that are paying for the
application isn't built yet, so the bid will be released on the 30th of September.
Okay.
That pre-registration is currently set at 65.
Okay, so the one thing that I will say is you're obviously raising capital. One of the things that is helpful is I always like to see like proof of concept.
Yes.
Because you're a startup, but is there any way that, because there's a lot of risk when somebody is going to invest in something that hasn't launched yet, because I don't know what your customer acquisition cost is going to be.
Yes.
At $9.90 a month, or $10, call it, is how long will they stay? What's the lifetime value of that customer? What's it cost to get that customer? Those are two variables you don't know yet. And as an investor, maybe enough for me to say, because you don't know and I don't know, I maybe need to wait until I invest. So I'd like to see some kind of proof of concept that people like it, what you're doing, will use it, and have had success with it, I guess, ultimately. So you really need some great testimonials, I guess is what I'm saying.
If that's the fact, we've actually just got the approval to advertise in all Jets gyms. So when the application is now built, anyone that has a Jets membership will be able to use Hàli free of charge. The testing period will just be there to be able to get our data, our figures, and testing the trial period.
That's important. That's one of the most important things you can do, is get the proof of concept out, because it takes, from an investor standpoint, it takes a little bit of the risk factor away. So that's my initial comments, and I think we're sharing with everyone here. So you want?
You just listening to you, 150 Ks, the numbers I heard.
Yes.
You've got 140.
Correct.
So today you're pitching for 10.
Well, I didn't want to ask anything, but yes.
Okay. Now just to try to understand where you're at.
Yes.
So you've spent 140 now. You've got to this point.
We've got 140 in the bank. Haven't spent.
You haven't spent a cent.
Yeah.
So who paid for the development of the app?
The app's not built yet. My co-founder is a software developer, works at CSIRO, so we're developing it every single night.
So if we get to the end of September,
Yes.
and we've got it in test
Yes.
through the gym,
Yes.
and we've got the app up and going, what do you expect to spend by that point?
Expect to spend.
What's your expenditure at that point? Yeah.
It's still $0 because it's all built in house.
Okay. So you're not paying yourselves.
No.
Okay. So you're going to have funding. You're going to have cash in the bank at the 29th September?
So the money's already in the bank.
Okay.
I work for IBM, and my counterpart works at CSIRO.
Yep.
And so we're just doing this kind of bootstrapping our way through, and goes from there.
All right. So obviously I'm sitting there listening to you talk. How much money and what are your projections on a month-to-month basis over the next 12 or 24 months? Do you have any idea where you're going?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we go and fast forward 2 years, I want to target 2.5% of 3.3 million that currently use exercise services. The figure of $9.90, that should project close to $820,000 a monthly revenue. But the consumer market is very hard. Fads go dip up and down, so it's very much it. We've actually now just changed our model to go for a business-to-business approach, and we're actually going to be licensing the software out to gyms, dietitians, and everything, and giving them kind of a God-view approach that they can monitor all their clients and services.
Okay. So rather than going direct to retail, you're going to go in a wholesale mode where you're going to get the gyms to give us membership add-ons.
Yes, it's a value-added service.
Good. So you'll have a basic income.
Yeah.
Good on you. Okay. Good.
Just comment on your bootstrapping, that's a good thing, of course, but it may be that you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'd suggest you do talk to a designer on both your app to make sure it's not clunky and bumpy, and also your website. These things are critically search engine optimization as well, because you can have an app and a website and not see the tricks and the clicks that you want to see.
Definitely.
My second issue or question might be, what's so hard to copy about your business?
Nothing technically copy. The fact that we're going to be using deep learning neural networks and artificial intelligence to kind of power the whole system operates. So rather than other kind of applications out there that just kind of log your food, you just all that, Hàli learns with you as you go. So every single week as your food preferences change and your activity levels change, she learns and starts understanding you. So every week you just get smarter, better, learning what you actually want to eat and then continue improving for that. So I think that's a very unique type of thing. And
Okay, so I'm not sure how much time we have. I'll make one more comment, and if anyone else wants to say anything, fine. But I think I heard two pretty powerful things by us asking questions that weren't in the presentation. One, that your partner is doing the app really at no cost, correct? I'd like to hire him to do some ads for me too. Okay, let's do a couple deals here. Okay?
he's also the co-founder. So.
All right. Yeah. No. So, but that's pretty powerful. You said so. You're not taking salaries, right? Isn't that impressive? That they're not just using the money you raised to draw down this and that, and all the money going to the founders, right? That's something that an investor, like when I do my due diligence, I dive in, like we were talking about here, and that's important. And so I think the other thing you mentioned is you're doing the wholesale method with gyms. I would also recommend if you could go into some corporations and leverage this into companies that could, I know a doctor in the U.S. that wrote a book on getting a better heart and things like that, but he was giving the books to corporations and training and showing some very powerful magical transformations inside the corporations with, how many people were showing up on time and their health and wellness over a year's period of time. That could be very powerful information for you to leverage into other corporations also. So I think it's a great concept.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is that like an enterprise type system where the employees get to monitor?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
good job. Anybody else?
Corporate health's good.
Corporate health.
Yeah.
Corporate health. Let's give them a round of applause.